Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do course selection information today. So, this is one where you are in high school now. High school has much higher stakes than middle school does. So, the classes that you choose are going to be really, really important. You do get to decide. You get to decide what electives you want. We have a much broader range of electives for high school. You also get to choose if you want the advanced and honors classes or if you want the standard level classes. It's really up to you and what you think is going to be most effective to get you what you want. Um, we say all the time you have to begin with the end in mind. That means you need to think forward and say, okay, where do I want to be in 10 years? Do you want to be at finishing up a college? What do you want? Do you want to have gone to a 4-year college? Do you want to eventually make it to a medical school or to a dental school or a law school? Where are you planning? Because if you have those goals in mind, you can then start to think about the classes that are required now, and you can be more effective and kind of really be successful in the classes. Now, one of the things to remind you, you have to pass the full year in high school or repeat the course. So it means that we do not hold students back in high school, which is different from middle school, but you only have 4 years to complete all of the required classes. So even if you're a 10th grader, and this has happened, we have 10th graders who are taking a full ninth grade course load because they didn't pass their key classes. They didn't pass the classes that they needed. So they're now down to only 3 years to pass 4 years worth of material. So please don't think, oh, they don't hold back, so that's awesome, I get a free pass. It makes life actually much, much harder and much more difficult if you do start falling behind. So just be aware of that as you go forward here. Now, like I said, there are certain requirements to graduate. You do need to take 4 years of English. You need 4 credits of math. You need 4 credits of science. You also need 4 credits of those social studies. That's history, government, human geography, and world history. You'll need 2 PE credits. Health is a half a credit. Computers is a half a credit. And then electives, you need 3.5 credits, 2 of which need to be Spanish or another foreign language. So this is something where 1 credit equals 1 school year of the class. So basically what we're saying is for all 4 years, you will have English, math, science, and history. And then you will have 2 years of PE and then kind of go from there. So there is lots of room if you think about it in terms of class loads, because we have 7 periods in a day times 4. You could take up to 28 credits. You're only required to take 22 and a half. So that means that for some of you, your senior year, you could potentially, be leaving school early. You could get a job after school. For some of you, that means that you have a little bit of room to have not passed the class and then to make some of that up, but it's very little, and it's just that gets very tight. You also will have to complete 100 hours of community service. We will go into great detail about that at a later point in time. But please keep in mind that 100 hours of community service is a requirement for graduation from Somerset. If you don't want to do the 100 hours of community service, you can go somewhere else. But my key thing on that one is that the community service is something that sets you apart from everybody else that's applying for high or for college. So it's something where it is actually a really important thing to be getting done. Now, what happens if you fail a class? Each semester is worth a half a credit. If you fail one semester and you pass another semester, you get half a credit. You need the whole credit though, so you're going to have to either take summer school or repeat the whole class. Please know that Somerset LoC, we do not allow you to take a half a credit of a class. So like, I'm going to go with the algebra example. Let's say you don't pass semester 1 of algebra, you do pass semester 2. You don't take summer school. Next year, you will take the full year of algebra again. You cannot just take that first semester. That's one of the way that we work things at this school. So keep that in mind. It's either you take summer school, which is over $100 per half credit, or you repeat the whole class. How do you get to pick what you take? You're going to use the website. You are automatically registered for your core classes, and then you have to pick electives and if you want advanced classes. So if you don't fill in the course selection form, we will pick the courses for you. Course selection form opened March 13th. That was yesterday. So it is available until March 10th. My suggestion, as always, is just do it. When you take this home today, just fill it in. Just That way you don't forget about it, because I will guarantee you that come March 11th, when you come and you say, Miss Dunn, I forgot to register for my classes, I'm going to say, well, that's an unfortunate turn of events. You do have to do this, or we will pick for you. Now, this is what the forms look like. And you'll see that this says ninth grade course selection form, current 8th graders. I'm actually going to show you guys exactly how to get to the forms, what they look like. So from our website, there's several different ways to get there. Number one, under the news and announcements, you'll see course request forms right here. Number two, over here, there's course selection forms on the right-hand side down here. And the third way, if you can't find one of those, is under academics. You can go to course request forms right here, okay? All three of those buttons will lead you to the correct place. So we're gonna just use this button for right now. We go to course request form, we click on this guy right here, takes you here. Now, you have to find which one is yours. You guys are currently 8th graders, but you do not choose the 8th grade course request form, because that would be you choosing 8th grade classes. You need to choose the freshman course request form. So you'll click on this. Quick note, just at the bottom here, you'll see there's a high school course catalog that explains every class there is. It shows you exactly, it's like a paragraph of everything, so you'll look that over if you have a question about what a class is. Notification of upcoming course information, that is the sheet that you should have. That sheet needs to be signed. We'll go into more details about that. Then there's the specialized course request form. This form is the one that is if you want to take like a specialized course, honors, AP, or another elective, and that list is right here. So if you want like AP honors courses, publications, leadership, aid positions, things like that. You do need to get teacher signatures for that, and it needs to be submitted no later than March 10th. You only need one of these per person, because as you can see, there's multiple places for course names. So that's your course request form for those specialized courses. All right, now to go back to the course request, like what you actually got to do here. As you look at this, you'll see 2017-18 ninth grade course selection form, current 8th graders. You'll put in your name. Now, there's one thing to know is if you fill in the wrong grade level form, your responses will be deleted. So you need to make sure that, first of all, that it says ninth grade course selection form. This drop-down box here says 8th grade, because that is your current grade level. That's the only option. If you get one that says 10th grade, you're on the wrong form. Students' grade level for next school year, it will say, oh, 9th grade. So you need to make sure that you're on the right form. You can see here the required courses for 9th grade. You've got English 9. You can also take English 9 honors. In order to do that, you need to fill out that specialized course request form, and you need to have your English teacher sign off. Having your math teacher sign off on your English placement is not going to work out for you. Math, Algebra 1, and the alternative is if you've already taken Algebra 1, you can take Geometry. Biology, with Biology honors being the alternative. Again, you have to do that specialized course request form. Human Geography, this one. The alternative is an AP Human Geography. Now, AP stands for Advanced Placement. This is the first advanced placement class that we offer, but we offer many, many, many more after this once you get into 10th, 11th, 12th grade. AP stands for, like I said, Advanced Placement. This is a class where it's taught at our school, but then there is an externally graded exam, which means it's an exam written by somebody else, not your teacher. You take it, then it's sent off, and it's graded. If you score high enough on an AP exam, whether it's this one or one's to come in the future, you can earn college credit for those classes. So that's a really great way to get that jump start on just kind of getting all those college minimum requirements out of the way. But again, you do have to have that specialized course request form. You have to have, guess what? Not Mr. Turner sign that one. You need to have Ms. Alvarez sign that if you want to take that Human Geography. You'll have PE1, and then you'll have 2 electives. Now, with the electives, real quick, sorry, specialized course request, if you are submitting a specialized course request, you have to tell us which one. You can click all of them. You can click just I'm not requesting something. It's up to you, but this is a required question. This is not the specialized course request form though. Please know that. This is just the form that tells us that you're going to be handing that in. So click this and then make sure you get that other form turned in. Now, the elective preferences. You get to select different elective preferences. If you look, like we said, there's a whole bunch of elective preferences here. It's something where I want you to really be considering what electives are going to be beneficial for you, not what electives you think your friend is going to take. Because there's multiple reasons to not take classes with your friends. Number one is you tend to talk to them and therefore you get in trouble. Number two is sometimes you and your friends don't have the same interests when it comes to classes, so you are less likely to really be interested and then less likely to do well in that class. So it's something where you need to make sure that as you go through this, you're picking classes that you're really interested in. Now, if you don't know what something is in here, you will need to go to that PDF on the original page about course selection guide. That's going to give you a paragraph or more of all those sorts of the explanations of what exactly psychology is, what exactly folklore and mythology is, what is business marketing. I don't teach any of these classes. I have no idea, so the best place to look is in that form. Now, you guys have to remember, once you've put these forms in, we do try to honor your requests, but you guys are unfortunately at the bottom of the ladder again. As ninth graders, we place the 12th, 11th, and 10th graders in their electives first. So we cannot make any guarantees that you will get the electives that you want. We do try, but like I said, I can't make any guarantees. Now, we don't change schedules. You guys have heard me say that. But here is one thing I need you to be aware of. If you are misplaced in a class, which means if we somehow managed, you just finished pre-algebra and you got placed in a geometry class, you need to, within that first day, stand up to, come down to the office, say, Miss Dunn, whoever it is down there, hey, I'm placed in the wrong class. You cannot sit through an entire semester of the wrong level class. If you do, you've just wasted basically an entire year of your time. So make sure that you are in the right classes and that you're in the right grade level and in the right level. It's something where, look, we make mistakes, but we are a team. You are the ones, it's your education, you're in charge of your education, and so you have to be the one that makes sure that you follows up on that. We do require parent verification. A couple of places. This is one. You need to have your parent or guardian put in their information and say, yes, we agree that this is the information, that this is correct. So please make sure you do that. You need to follow up on that. Like I said, deadline on this is March 10th. All right, back to this guide. That's what the forms look like. Already talked about that. You want to take something different, specialized course request form. You've already seen this. Please make sure that you get it done. Those are available both online and in the front office. Now, course selection is February 13th till March 10th. You need to talk with your parents. Their approval is required. That form that you should have in front of you, it has a timeline on it of exactly what information exactly when things are. Yes, there's almost a month where you can fill in this course selection stuff online, but as always, I'm going to suggest you do it as soon as possible. Now, on the back of that sheet, at the very top, is your name. You need to put your first and last name there, preferably right now. You could go ahead and just do that so that you don't lose this. And then the 2017-18 grade level over here, that would be 9th grade. Oops. At the very bottom of this page is a place for you to have parent or guardian sign this. This needs to be signed and it needs to be turned back in February 28th. It needs to be handed into the front office with Miss Reese no later than February 28th. But, you'll hear me say it again, the best time for you to hand it in is tomorrow, because then you won't have forgotten about it. You come to me on March 1st, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do anything because there is a deadline on that. So please make sure you get it in no later than the 28th, but probably tomorrow would be a good day to get it handed in. All right, now you're in charge of making sure you have enough credits to graduate. We will help, but it truly is up to you. It's your education. you need to make sure that you're keeping up. You need to make sure that you're getting that work in. You need to make sure you're talking with your teachers. High school is a little bit different. Your ninth grade teachers obviously will help a little bit as you ease into high school, but things like late work, it doesn't work out for you in high school. Your teachers in eighth grade have been very accommodating, but you guys have to understand you have 14 weeks left. That's it. There's 14 weeks left of your eighth grade, and then you will be entering high school. High school is you're playing for keeps. You are, those grades are going on your transcript. Those grades are the grades that you are sending out to colleges. A lot of times people will say, oh, well, don't worry, my grades, I'll just go ahead and get them. I'll just make sure that like my junior and senior year, I do really well. So my ninth and 10th grades don't matter. But the reality is you are applying for colleges in your beginning of your 12th grade year, which means that those grades for your 12th grade year, you have to just pass your classes your 12th grade year. Those grades aren't the grades that colleges are accepting you based on. They're accepting you based on your ninth and your 10th and your 11th grade grades. So it's something where you have to be really aware of what you're doing and making sure that you're staying on top of your grades, that you're not falling behind. As a reminder, you also have to get those 100 hours of community service to graduate. That's one thing that a lot of people forget about, but it is just as important as those other ones. Now, 100 hours sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, it is just, it's basically like 25 each summer. It really ends up not being that much. So just know that, like I said, we'll go into community service hours at a later point in time. All right, if you guys end up having questions about any of this, please let me know. You can ask Miss Nisley, the high school counselor. She can help you with this. You can ask Miss Rostein or Miss Pinuve. They are there. They're ready to help. They are the ones that have been working on this. So this is something where if you're not sure about something, let us know. Miss Nisley would be a really good source if you have questions about like what would be the best classes if I want to do this, or what would be the best classes for this. Her office is upstairs in the high school, so talk with her. I can obviously answer those questions as well. So to wrap it up, February 13th is when this started. The course selection is open until March 10th. Do it sooner rather than later. Make sure you hand that one form back into the front office signed. All right, I'll see you guys later.